Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on Lumber Capital Log Yard. I have the boss with me here today because we have just done some rearranging at the log yard this morning, and we have all kinds of ideas of how to make efficiency of movement even better than it already is. So he's going to talk a little bit about that, and I hope that you guys enjoy. All right, so can you first start off by telling us why you decided to move our larger log loader over to the mill area?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. The reason I did is, as I expressed in 2 or 3 of the last videos that I was in, we want to start cutting hardwood, and that changes how the log yard's set up a little bit. And the primary reason is that when we cut hardwood, we'll be cutting a railroad tie out of a lot of the center of the logs, because the cant in the center of hardwood is inferior to the flitches and the lumber coming off the outside of the log. The problem with the railroad tie in our equipment is a railroad tie weighs 200 to 250 pounds, and the girls just physically cannot handle it. And I have struggled to come up with systems where they can actually physically handle the tie. So if we go over to the mill, the board drag back on the mill that you've seen in several videos where it brings the board back is actually strong enough to bring the tie back, and it would bring it back to that table. But that puts the tie 2.5 feet up in the air, and that's a problem, because even sliding out of your hands or landing on a toe, even with steel-toed boots, it just isn't going to work. So this is my solution. We're going to bring the logs in and stage them in 3 spots, all next to each other. It'll be just like you saw before. We will have logs on the deck in front of the mill, like the girls generally load, and then we'll have logs sitting on the trailer, and then we'll be able to stage logs where they're sitting now. And the cool thing about that is we have a lot of wasted time during the day going and getting more logs and bringing over and reloading the log deck. So now the girls are going to be able to keep everything in motion without stopping to go get this trailer, hook it up to the tractor, and go get logs. Yeah, because our hooking up situation was kind of getting out of control. The pure time that it takes to just hook and unhook from the loader, I mean, it's not very easy to hook up anyhow. It's kind of hard with the pin. So this will be the permanent place for this. We won't be moving this at all, correct? That's correct. Which will be great. Yeah. So the idea is that they will actually be able to cut a tie, lower it back down, pick it up with the grapple, and place it either on the trailer or over here. And the cool thing about this grapple is that it opens wide enough that it can pinch, which we'll show you in upcoming videos, 5 ties at a time. So they will be able to actually make our stacks with this grapple. I've done it many times before. These guys were 4 and 5 years old at the time. That's how old this trailer is. We've had it for almost 17 or 18 years. So I'm very excited about this. I call it economy of movement. We've always been hamstrung because we've had relatively small equipment for what we're doing. It's always been like one step above where we're at. A landowner, somebody that has a small mill and is able to work at their own pace without really needing to produce so much an hour. So we're not really a big mill, but we're somewhere in between there, and we need to find ways of doing it better and faster and safer. So that all happens right now. I did have to make a purchase to make this happen. I've been waiting eagerly for this particular piece to come in, and that is the the bale forks that we have on the loader, that was an essential piece. We've waited, like I said, a while for them to arrive. I'm very excited about it because that allows us now to use the John Deere loader to move logs instead of the Medivik loader. Again, we've been thoroughly impressed with this machine, but it is very, very small, light duty machine for what we're doing.
Will this still have a use at the log yard after everything is arranged?
After everything's done. Yeah, we're gonna continue to use it to move the slab wood.
Oh yeah.
So we're actually move it right into where they keep the jigs with the slab wood. They'll be able to reach over and put the slabs right on the trailer. And one of the things that's exciting about that is that they fill up a little more than one jig a day when they're having a good day, and they have to actually stop, unload the whole thing, and now they have the machine sitting right there, so they won't even have to unload all of it. They can just reach over, get one grapple's worth, put it on the trailer, and then be able to finish up at the end of the day.
That will be nice.
Yeah, that will speed things up a little more.
Yeah.
And be safe and easy, and it can sit there, so it won't have to be hitched to the tractor until the end of the day for cleanup. So.
Well, we're going to have to get used to running this because I've run it a few times and it's a lot different than the new loader. It has a lot of it moves even though you're not telling it to move. It kind of it swings a little bit.
It does.
What would that be called? But your hands are off the hydraulics and it's still swinging. So it sketches me out with the roof. And
yeah, don't hit it.
Yeah, and it's the arm's longer too, right?
No, it isn't. It's
okay.
It's 14
but
feet.
It's a lot stronger.
It's a lot stronger.
So it's
pretty heavy duty.
You're not going to be tipping it, and that's another thing about the Medivik is it's very tippable.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever covered it in a video, but to move some of the bigger logs to pick them up, we always had to put 2 or 3 logs actually on the trailer as ballast, so we could go pick up a big log, which isn't a problem. It's just, learning to use the machine to its full capacity. I don't like to do that because it wears out a piece. So if we're able to use the machine more for what it was intended to do, picking up some lighter stuff, it's going to last us another decade, which like I said, is a handsome machine. We're very happy to be able to upgrade to the John Deere loader and bale forks to be efficient. So there's another thing I want to show you, a small change that we've made, because now that we have the loader here, that is how we loaded the Bell's processor for many years. I think we've had the Bells for 5 years, maybe 6. We had a multi-tech processor prior to that, and that's how we loaded it. So I'll show you what we're going to do, but we're going to be able to use the bale forks again, and we'll be able to actually go physically right up and load the processor. And if we just walk over there, is that cool? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big wide open hole now here.
So we're going to be able to come in with the bale forks and come right on to the live deck and load. So we're not gonna need the loader here anymore, which is fantastic. So the live deck, you can load an 8-foot piece. Between those two, you can load a 20-foot plus piece. By catching all 3, we can load our 10s and 12s on this side, which is what I prefer to do because it keeps the logs away from the cab, the operating area. So again, I feel this is going to be a lot more efficient. We're going to have the log yard organized so that when our firewood comes in, they're in piles down below. We'll be able to go grab them with the bale forks, come right up, put it on the processor, and I don't think I'm going to lose any time doing so. I think I'll be able to maintain about the same processing speed, but the girls are going to pick up a lot of efficiency by having the process set up that way. as I showed you. Now maybe I'm going to be completely wrong. I've had these brain dead ideas many times in the past, and had to rearrange the log yard back to the way that it was. So it's constantly a work in progress, and we'll see how it goes. But I think we have a good system set up, and I think it's going to be better for our equipment, better for our bodies, and better economically, and hopefully better financially.
Yeah, well, we have many changes as far as rearranging goes coming up. Of course, we'll discuss it more in previous videos, but as far as the way that the log yard looks right now, it's going to be changing quite significantly very quickly too.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned for future videos if you guys are interested in seeing that.
Well, thanks for listening to me again, and we greatly appreciate you watching the channel. And it is finally Friday. This is day 6 for me, so I am happy to say have a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday.